Hi folks, this is Siobhan with CDM 365 Studios, and today we're going to be talking about making 4 at a time or no waste flying geese. So for this method, you always have one large square and 4 small squares. Now just so you know, the large square is going to be the interior part of your flying geese, and your small squares will be the exterior part, just to make it a little easier to follow with the colors. Okay, so first step, we take our large square and 2 of our small squares, and we're going to line them up corner to corner. And I know it's a little difficult to see, unfortunately with the dark fabric it makes it a little difficult, but there is a diagonal line drawn along both of these small squares, and if you can see, the diagonal line kind of lines up on both of these, and as you can see, the squares really overlap, and they're supposed to overlap like that. So then the next thing we do is we draw a 1/4 inch seam on either side of these, and I'm going to do that right now. So let's do that. And there we go, one side, turn it. Second side. And let me just grab my scissors. Let's cut. And you can see we have the 2 lines sewn. I was a little off with my 1/4 inch seam, that's okay. Next thing is going to be to cut down the center, which I'm going to do now. And obviously you can do this rotary cutter, you can do it by hand, whatever is easiest. Right now I'm just doing it by hand because that's easiest for me. So you're going to end up with 2 pieces like this. Now what you have to do is you have to press these flaps up. So what I always like to do is I like to find whichever one flips over first, press and roll it into place, then press the second one up, and roll it into place. So that's one. And that's 2. Now we're going to take our other 2 small squares, and you'll do the same with both of these pieces. You're going to put them into what I like to call the bottom of the heart. Just like that. And same as we did last time, we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam on either side of that diagonal. So let me go ahead and do that. And flip it around for the other side. Okay, and just like that, you can see how we have the 1/4 inch seam on either side of the line. And so again, like last time, we are going to cut down that center. And when you get near that top, you're going to be going through a couple of seams, so it's going to be a little thicker. And then you're going to press your other triangle out. Just like that. Now let me quickly do up the other one, and you'll get to see all 4 of them all at once. What I really love about this method is the fact that it is incredibly fabric efficient. As I say, it's the no waste, and with the exception of what you have to trim at the end, it really is no waste. So it's a great way to use your fabric and make sure that you don't have all those extra sections left over as scrap. Okay, so that's 3. And that is 4. Now from here, the last step is trimming them. Now, if you have one on hand, or if you think you're going to be making a lot of flying geese, I strongly recommend getting a wing clipper. This is probably my favorite ruler because there is so much that you can do with it. So these blocks have to measure 3.5 by 2. So there's the 3.5, there's the 2. And you see there's kind of that little point up there. You make sure your little point goes into there. And hopefully this is going to be a decent rotary cutter. I don't remember the last time I changed the blade on this one. Definitely need to change the blade again on this one. But we'll be okay for doing this. Then you flip it around. And you fit it into the 3.5 by 2. And you'll see that you fit in that valley. And of course I'm moving too much and it's a little hard to see. And let me just trim this up a little bit. I'll always recommend before you do your trimming, check and make sure you have a nice new blade in there. So there you go. That is one trimmed with a wing clipper. And let me grab another ruler just so you can get an idea of what it's like trimming with a regular ruler. So again, we're doing 3.5 as our width. And 2 is our depth. And so if we're doing 3.5 as our width, we want our point here to be at approximately 1 3/4 inches. So that's this line right here. So that's what we're trying to line up there. Okay. We do that. And then when you do the flip and trim, it's a lot easier. There's not that same extent of measuring. You line it up for the 3 by 2. And there you go. So you can trim them either way. And that is how you make your 4 at a time flying geese. I hope you found this helpful, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Bye!